For those that are new here, welcome, and for those that are longtime viewers, also welcome. Today's video is going to be more of a talky video, updates of 2022, plans, what's happening, what's not happening, what I think I'm gonna do, what I'm definitely not gonna do, plans for the channel, etc, etc. So if you're interested in that, stay tuned because we're gonna go through all of that in today's video, but if not, you can skip to next week's video and I'll be doing some adventure. Okay. I would just sort of like to very briefly recap the beginning of this journey until this point now, because those decisions really do affect what is happening now. Back in November, the land border opened up for Canadians to enter the US, at which point I made the decision to hop in my van and start my 3-year trip to Mongolia. If you're a longtime viewer, you would know that I had many issues with the van. I got my van from the shop. It was expensive. It was expensive. It was $1,000 essentially, and it's not done getting fixed. And it's cost me quite a lot of money, and right before this trip, believe it or not, there was like a few unexpected issues, so I ended up having to front a lot more money than I anticipated right before my trip, but that didn't stop me. I went ahead anyway. So I got my van and I drove to a friend's house in Washington. From there, I hopped in his truck, drove it 19 hours to beautiful Utah, at which point I stayed in Utah for about a week and got naked in the desert, and it was a whole lot of shenanigans. Of course, I flew back to Washington to my van and I took 5 days to just completely veg and do nothing. I made my way down to LA where I visited a friend for another week. Spent 24 hours in Joshua Tree and then made my way over here to Utah, where I basically have been the past month. I got to spend a day with some canyoneer legends, walk through the Narrows in wetsuits, see some dinosaur tracks, and get up to all sorts of off-camera shenanigans, as well as 2 friends from Canada came down to visit me, which was super, super nice, and I got to show them the place that I love so much, which almost leads me to today. January 6th was my original leave date. I was going to get back in the van at that point and continue driving. If you follow me on Instagram, you would know that I've been having some bearing issues with my van. It's potentially a bearing issue. I think I'm going to push the 2.5 hours. I'll let you know if my van blows up. And I haven't talked about it on my channel yet because I didn't actually know what the problem was. But yes, it was a bearing issue and I had to get it fixed. Of course, when I got to Utah, it was the holiday, so trying to get an appointment with a mechanic was actually really difficult, and I kind of just gave up and decided to just wait until the new year, make an appointment, take it in, and then get it done then. Yeah, it's definitely a tire noise or something like that. So of course that January 6th leave date got pushed. I unexpectedly had to wait an extra 6 days and pay an extra $1,100 that I wasn't anticipating. I wasn't anticipating at all, which is a little disappointing because that was the last kind of factor I was waiting for in order to be able to really solidify my 2022 plans. So let's talk about it. So obviously the plan was to put my van on a boat in May and head on over to the UK, where I would be getting a working holiday visa to start my journeys over in the UK while working and making money on the European side. However, we all know what's happening with the lovely Omicron. Between the Omicron virus and between my dwindling bank account, May is not on the table. May is not in the cards. It's probably going to have to be pushed to the end of 2022. Really depending upon, again, my bank account and what's happening with the virus on that side. I am surprisingly not as disappointed having to make that decision as I thought, but I also don't want to make a hasty decision just because it's something that I need or want to do. It's also like needs to be a very calculated decision, because not only is it a massively financial decision, it's also a health decision as well too. Wait and see what the lovely Omicron does, and while I'm waiting and see, I can also work and replenish the bank account. So you're probably wondering, well, what am I going to do instead? This is what I have in mind. So my thoughts for 2022 thus far are, well, after this video, I'm going to hop in a van and I'm going to drive into Arizona, and I'm going to explore Arizona and New Mexico for the next little while. Then the beginning of February, I plan to visit these lovely people in Florida, followed by either 2 decisions, either going straight up the East Coast and back into Canada that way, or potentially making also the long haul kind of back over to Minnesota and visit a friend in Minneapolis, and then head north over into Manitoba. Those are my tentative plans. That literally only takes me to the end of March. What I do after that is, well, I don't know. At least I have that going for me. And people may argue that, like, oh, you're giving up your dream to Mongolia, and I'm really not. I'm really not giving it up. I said it's going to be 3 years and to get there, and just because Mongolia is the end destination doesn't mean like I have to get there now. If anything, what I've learned through my travels that you have never seen, because I've been to many places and done a lot of things before this channel, but what I've discovered, it's not about the beginning and the end point. It's about all the stuff that happens in the middle to get to those points. And those are where the true stories happen. Those are the true connections with people happen. Those when the beautiful moments, the funny moments, the scary moments happen. So I'm really, if anything, I'm actually excited. Now we're gonna get into this small little chat about the direction of my channel. Of course, when I started this channel, I started in the height of 2020 when everything was in lockdown. Starting a travel channel kind of wasn't really in the cards, yet I still wanted to start a YouTube channel. For those who don't know or are new here, I love reselling. I love finding thrifted items and selling them online. So that's what I started the channel about. I traveled around locally in Canada and I was making thrift travel videos kind of there, and more thrift videos than adventure videos. Of course, now in the past month and a half, it's kind of totally gone out the window, completely gone. I've been to like one thrift store in the past month and a half. I haven't made any videos about thrifting. It's intriguing to see like where my channel is being pushed to, but at the same time, I also know a good portion of you came from Rally Roots' channel. Hello everyone from Rally Roots, welcome. The fact that you're probably not getting any reselling in the van content is maybe a little bit disappointing. And now I know I'm at a point with my channel where I have to sort of like make a line of like which direction I'm gonna go. Am I gonna go thrift direction or the van direction or the adventure direction? I love doing both and I want to make content on both in order to keep it cohesive. And you know, within a niche, I need to choose one. And so this is where I need your help. What do you prefer to see? What do you want to see more of? Adventure stuff or like thrifting in the van stuff? Please let me know in the comments below. Your input actually will help me make a decision. I do have thoughts of keeping the Travel with Tats channel, maybe more travel, van, adventure based, and then maybe starting a TikTok account, making short videos on thrifty stuff. I don't know. What are your thoughts? Please, I need help. I do want to give you the content that you want to see. I also want to keep it within the parameters of content that I also want to make, type deal. So any help would be appreciated. Please let me know in the comments below. Okay. Now I'm going to hop in my van and make my way to Flagstaff in Arizona. And from there, I have no idea where I'm going. Thank you so much for being here. Until next week, I'll see you. Bye. Don't judge me, I know I'm not stylish, okay? Leave me alone.